All right, let's try this again, guys. Here we go. We're back after the 1 hour special, the monster special. It was good. You know, we had El Horrifico as a special guest. Good old Carlos. He's a little crazy, isn't he? I liked the episode. I watched it a few times, you know. But however, we have a special viewer out there. Yes, a strange person in YouTube land just had to comment something. And this is just what I love. I love this so much. Folks, if you go back to that video and look at the comments, he has to go and say and correct me that it's the Frankenstein monster and not Frankenstein. I'm like, well, you brainiac, if you actually watched the episode, I literally opened the conversation by saying Frankenstein monster, and I think I said those words 14 times throughout the episode. But this is a mask of the Frankenstein monster. A mask of the Frankenstein monster.
A mask of the Frankenstein monster.
So this is a person that just goes like this. You know, they don't watch my shit. They just scroll through it as fast as they can. See what masks. They hear me say Frankenstein one time. Oh my God! I had to go in the comments under his comment and go, if you go to this time, you'll hear those exact words out of my mouth. But thanks anyway for your dumb comment. I need to listen to Joe Rogan and not read the comments. It's like, you come here after an hour's worth of cool shit just to say that. Let's take a look at your content. Oh, you don't have any. I have to tell you guys something. When I bite into a York peppermint patty, it gives me the sensation that I just bought a really rare Be Something Studios mask from Snowland or wherever the hell this guy. I don't even know what this guy's name is. I can't remember. He is so rare that I don't think he's in any of the catalogs as far as I know. I looked in the 76, the 77 catalog that I have, the Franco catalogs. I don't think I even found him. Who is this? I don't remember. I was going to send it to Aaron Lewis, he works for Zagoni these days. This is original. This is not some new pull out of the mold. This is insane. How perfect the condition of this mask is. Look at that white fur under there. This is crazy. And if you look at the back side of the mask, it's totally aged rubber, but soft. This was kept by a professional collector. Actually, a professional insane sculptor / monster maker extraordinaire by the name of Jordu Shell. Yes. He actually sold this to another guy that I bought it from. But he bought this from Jordu. I said, yeah, I want that mask. I don't think I've ever seen one. I don't remember seeing this thing. Isn't that crazy? I'll get the camera down and we'll look at it in detail better, but that thing's amazing. And the quality is just crazy. It wasn't cheap. I paid all the money on it, but, you know, he tried gouging me for another $50. I'm like, dude, I'm already paying you the most somebody would pay for a Be Something mask in this wonderful economy we have. So, inflation, gas. Oh, I can't talk about the price of gas. What am I, crazy? I met a great old-time collector who watched my videos, came to the show, shook my hand, met me in person, because I love watching your stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. And his collection's through the roof. Incredible stuff. It was such an honor to meet him. And I loved talking with him. And all I did one day was, you know, I'm not getting political here. All right, maybe a tiny bit, but not nothing to run and delete me for. Don't go crazy with unsubscribe. You know, I live in Indiana, about an hour south of Chicago over the Indiana border. So I'm in the sticks, but I'm close to civilization. And all I did was take a picture of the gas pump because I was paying nearly $5 a gallon in rural Indiana. And all I said was 3 words. 3 words, my friends. I just typed them. Build back better. Like, what the fuck? I go, this is crazy. And that just set this person ablaze. And I wasn't getting political. I'm like, well, this happened and this over the past, so many years, and probably are the result of this. I'm just talking technicalities, okay? I wasn't getting like, this guy did it, I'm like, this is the technicalities behind why the price of gas is probably so high. Next thing you know, I'm being yelled at like, democracy is more important than the price of gas. And then this gentleman blocks me, unfriends me, blocks me. And I'm like thinking, you're a mature gentleman. You are a gentleman in person. You are a like-minded person like me. We love the same stuff. We know the same people. It just goes to show you how touchy people can be in this climate we're in. Not the climate. The climate, the political climate, It's sad. A lot's happened since the last video, huh? Good God. Crazy. We're not talking about it. Can't talk about it. You want to talk about that? Go on Facebook. You'll see lots of discussions on the current state of things in the country. But yeah, dude, I wasn't happy with the price of gas. Blocked. Okay, I guess we won't talk monsters anymore. It was a pleasure meeting you. Anyway, going from the old in the hobby down to the very youngest, probably one of the youngest viewers I have that I just found out about. I have to dedicate this video to someone special, okay? And it just shows me there is hope for the future, When you're young enough, you don't care about all this crap. And you're all about the monsters. And that's what I love. And my friend has a major collection out east. We're going to the state of Pennsylvania now, folks. And he watches, I'm not going to say his name, but his son, Mr. Luca. This video is dedicated to you. Luca is a young monster and horror enthusiast who I just found out loves watching these videos with his dad. And he's like, hey, where's the next video? I'm like, I'm working on it, dude. So Luca, he's got a mask or 2 in his room already. His dad's got a lot of masks, but he's got a mask in his room. I saw a picture of it and some other cool stuff he had in there. And I said, you know what? I'm going to send him a Crimson Ghost Mask Room care package. So I hooked up Luca with a t-shirt and then a little Dracula guy, what are those, pop heads? Is that what they're called? I had an extra Dracula here. And I'm like, because my daughter loves those. She has a big collection of those. I go, you know what? Now I know what to do with this extra Dracula. It's going to Luca. So he loved it. He got stickers. He got a button in the mail, which reminds me I need to get to my Facebook group and ship out t-shirts to all these guys that are waiting months and months for shirts. Luca, you got a shirt before all these other dudes. And they're getting upset, So, yeah, it's so good to see people that young into the stuff I love. Because there's many times I'm down here looking around this room like, where is this all going to end up one day? Where is the genre going to end up? Horror, where's Halloween itself? Halloween itself has changed drastically since I was a kid. The thing that bugs me the most is when we're talking about Halloween. Growing up in the Midwest, Chicago suburbs, Illinois, Haddonfield. No, we had real leaves on the ground. It was the best because fall was it was the most amazing fall feel ever. I'm sure it's like that on the East Coast and, you know, places like Maine and, of course, Michigan. But the fall feel here was unbelievable. And that played a huge part in sparking the love for the holiday and the love for the masks and the costumes. And that sparked a lot of mask makers in the Midwest because of the amazing, I think it's a lot of it. Even Pete Infelice will go, yeah, dude, we had the best falls here, the best Halloweens, the weather, and it was like that sparked a lot of people like me, you know, like, look at this. So it's like now the thing that drives me insane with Halloween is these people that run the towns, like, it's not even the mayor, it's just like the town committee. They all get together and say, you know what? Let's give them an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if they're lucky, to trick or treat. That if you are on a town council or whatever it is, and you're part of that, oh, if Luca wasn't watching this right now, I would give you not thumbs. No, no, no. That is the most horrible thing you could be doing to these kids. That was everything to us as kids, and it was everything to the people setting those rules. Those people setting these rules saying, oh, it's dangerous now. Oh my God, it's a horrible world. It ain't dangerous enough to give them 4 hours. What the hell's going to happen? Give them 4 hours. You know, now they got to go to trunk or treat. So you go walk in a parking lot. Oh, thanks. Give me candy out of your trunk. Yeah, I'm glad that stuff exists because the kids deserve it. But there's nothing like going through neighborhoods of old houses and leaves on the ground and, you know, the wind blowing at night and all the decorations and people walking by in costumes. Instead of standing in line at a parking lot at a church or, you know, it ain't the same. And if you're part of that, if you're working for these towns, you should be ashamed of yourself. I've been meaning to say that on the show. I've said it a long time ago on the channel, but that disgusts me, you know. And sometimes I'll look at the list of towns. I'm like, oh wow, this town gives them 3 or 3.5. Oh my God, that's crazy. We would wear our costumes to school. We would wear our costumes to grade school. Have a parade around the whole school. Every kid walking around parading our costumes around the entire school outside. And there was candy and taffy apples, and it was like fall is blowing in the wind outside. You see the leaves, and you're like watching the clock, because when that clock struck, whatever the hell time we get out, 4 o'clock, 3:30, I don't remember. We would trick or treat we would walk home. We'd walk home 6, 7 blocks, trick or treat all the way home, throw our book bags down, get our candy bags, and go out all night, you know. Some Halloweens it was 10 o'clock, you know, and your parents are like, get over it. They finally find you, like, come on, you're had enough. Go back in the house, empty huge bags of candy on the floor, whoosh, woo, run right out again and take off and repeat. And, you know, sometimes my friends and I were the last kids out there and, you know, smashing the occasional pumpkin or two. We weren't too bad, but, you know, those Halloween nights were everything to me and my friends because it was our night, you know, and this room is a huge reflection of that. So if you're on these damn town councils, you people are disgusting. Let me tell you how I really feel. Anyway, yeah, Luca, thank you. You're amazing, and I can't wait to see your collection grow. And your dad is just he's gonna keep teaching you more and more and more about his masks because he has killer stuff, and you're gonna learn, and you will be the one that takes care of that stuff someday. I know it. So here we are. I don't even know what we're gonna talk about. This is technically, yeah, episode Artifacts of the Franken Shrine, but we're starting off with 2 masks that are not from Frank's. I gotta talk about this one because I made a dumb mistake in the last video. From day one, when I saw this on David Lady's table, I'm with someone you guys know, kind of, through my recent videos. He kept saying, that's unreleased Mad Doctor, it's unreleased. I'm like, it is? I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's a great sculpt. It's got to be a Pat Newman sculpt. We said that in the last video. And it's finished beautifully, and it's like from the, it looks like a master copy. It's a big ass mask. I mean, it's not no little recast. It's huge. So I was like, maybe it was unreleased. I don't know. And then come to find out, it's the 1967 Mad Doctor. And, you know, I compare it to my copy, and it just doesn't have the detail. The details are lost. But the sculpt is the same. I should have known that. I should have looked at the sculpture more and go, duh. There's guys out there probably freaking out, laughing, like, he says he's an expert. Duh! I was told 400 times this was an unreleased mask. And it's like, you know how many masks I deal with? I'm like, oh, cool, I'll buy it. And to me, I look at it, I'm like, he looks like a man from Rome, a Roman man, or a man from Greece.
Greeks. Men from Greece.
Or the Mad Doctor. Anyway, I had to clear that up because there's people saying that there's misinformation in that video. That was part of the misinformation was, I didn't realize what the hell I had sitting in my hands when I knew that information. Dude, my brain is fried between what's going on with my kid and my back, the pain in my back. Last thing I was thinking about was really thinking more about the sculpture of that mask. This is going on 16 days of, but I'm up walking around. I still ice it, take heavy custom CBD gummies my friend makes. My friend's a huge cantaloupe farmer in Michigan. He makes me these amazing CBD gummies. But I tell you what, past few days, when he gave me some new ones, that and ice, I mean, it's knocking it out. And my chiropractor helped, but it's like, I'm getting the car fine, I'm getting up and down fine. It's weird. I haven't had that pain in 3 years. It's not like a constant thing, but I definitely don't want to come back. The reason I threw my back out is upstairs on the kitchen table, and I'm going to show you that reason. And you're going to see why I threw my back out. Yeah. You're going to say, oh, man, it's a lot of shit to take out of your car. But it was worth it. It was worth it. This pain is, it was insane, but was it really worth it? I don't know, because I was screaming every day, screaming, ah! But I'm not screaming anymore. So I brought home some amazing Death Studios pieces from Frank's. So I think we should start off with those. What do you say? Death Studios masks are hot commodities these days. And I said this before. I always thought Jeff's masks were, I don't want to say underrated because they're amazing. Amazing. He's one of the legendary people in this whole thing. And Death Studios, I want to say undervalued maybe, I'd be like, man, first of all, Jeff's masks are the best Halloween mask quality for the money. You can't, it's crazy, It's been like that for a long, long time. So it's really good to me to see a lot of Jeff's masks bringing real money, I think it's like they're late to the party in a way, It's strange. I think some of his masks should have been selling for a lot more many, many years ago. So, the Don Post masks have brought thousands here and there. Distortion's masks have brought thousands here and there. And Jeff's masks are always kind of like, I'm sure there was private sales where people flipped $400 or $500 here and there for something. You just never heard of it, and I wasn't always in the Death Studios group like I was in the past few years, I went to Jeff's place probably around 2099 or 2000. I was downstairs in the building there in LaPorte. LaPorte's only 40 minutes from here. Like, we can go right to Jeff's. We should go there again, huh? I've been talking about doing that. So I'm in this place, not realizing where the hell I was, and there's all these trinkets for sale. Like, it wasn't like a junk shop. It was like a little resale shop. And then I see amazing masks on a wall. And there was an old timer in there. And I go, what's up with those? And the guy goes, oh, my son made those. That's my son. He made those. I go, your son made those? And I'm like, holy shit, I'm at that Studios. And the studio was right upstairs, you know. That was Jeff's father. And I'm like, oh my God. So that was crazy. I realized where I was. I'm like, damn, I'm there. Finally. It's the first time ever going there. But look at the color on that thing, man. That thing's mint. He's got a little glitter on him. I don't know if he should have glitter on him or not.
This episode brought to you by Coffee Mate. Yes, by Nestle French Vanilla.
See that? I mean, it's old. And it definitely... Hang on. Inside, it's got the old Be Something Studios. Bye-bye. If you know what that means, you're a Be Something Studio fanatic. Bye-bye. Meaning by Bill Wystrom. Sculpted by Bill. I should reach out to Bill and go, what the hell's the name of this dude? He's got a long nose. Smell my finger. Okay, Death Studios, right? Let's set the camera back up. And like I said, Jeff's masks, still best bang for the buck. You can't beat them. And the size. Some mask makers out there aren't making the biggest masks in the world. Even Don Post masks were kind of shrinking over the years. Big time, especially in the Malone era, like the 77 905 Alien. That's one of the smallest masks I've ever had in my hands, you know? So Jeff always continued making big Halloween masks that'll fit any head. And they are incredible. Now, first, we're going to start off with a rarity. A rare one that I would eyeball in a nice glass case in Frank's main collection room. This bad boy is from 1991. He's really tough to get. And this is a pristine copy. Dated... Oh, wait. No, dated 96, actually, I think. I thought it was 91, but I think it looks like a little 6 now. Holy cow! We got the shock here. Look at that. My God, what a cool mask, you know? Look at that, dude. Man, and it's mint. He's foam filled. I guarantee you, Frank, that's where I got to talk to Jeff. I bet Frank told Jeff, please foam fill it for me in the mold or foam, whatever. And then Frank always painted black around the bottom of the foam on his pieces. But that had to be filled by Jeff, I'm thinking, at the factory. At Jeff's. But man, this thing, we're going to put... So, there's a catalog that shows this mask. And right next to it is another killer Death Studios piece that is very tough to get. Can you guess what it is? I have it sitting here, right from the Franken Shrine. In the catalog, he's on the right, the other one's on the left. Do you know what it is? He's right here on the floor. Oh my God! Screaming Dead. Look at that. 2 very tough to acquire Death Studios pieces, and I want to put this where I won't forget it. Hang on, guys. Let me put this by my camera. Look at that. I'm going to bring the camera down. So the Screaming Dead is 1991. The year I graduated high school. The year I graduated high school, Frank is buying
death studio masks and having them foam filled, you know. And at the time, my bedroom was a horror crazy. There's a whole video on my old bedroom. Real deal, you know. When people try to say I'm a poser and I'm not really into monsters or masks, I'll say, okay, here's my bedroom in 1988, 89, 90, 91, all through high school. You tell me if I'm for real. There's a whole video on it, and it was crazy, wall-to-wall horror. And I had some masks. That's when I first started displaying masks on my shelves, was in the late 80s, early 90s. But I only had, 5 or 10 masks at the time. But man, look at these babies. Pristine, foam-filled examples. And I love it that these two are side by side in that catalog photo, and here they are. So awesome, awesome pieces. All right. I know I brought home more Death Studios from Frank's on this last trip. What else did I grab? Let's see. I started putting masks on shelves just because I had to. I was running out of... Oh! Gotta be so... stuff like this, you have to be very careful. If you have masks from even the 90s, be gentle. There's a piece of hair almost pulling out up there. Like, they're old. The glue's old. The paint's beautiful, but when it comes to hair like that, be careful. If you want your stuff to last a long time. Funny, one of my friends watching the 1 hour special was going crazy that I was touching the Karloff so much, the Karloff. I know, you'll know who you are. I was very gentle. I wasn't doing the Carlos. Hey, let me see your mask. Hey, let me see your Verlangden zombie. No, I was like gently. My hands are clean. Anyway, yeah, don't let Carlos touch your masks. He's like a monster. What the hell? Oh, yeah. Those of you will know what film this is from right away. And this is one of the best copies I've seen. I think you guys will agree, because the old paint on Jeff's old vintage copies is the best. I'm Madman. Look at this. Straight from 1988. This is amazing. He still makes, I don't know if he still makes them, but he was making them for a while. There's later copies, but the paint on this one, even my buddy Dino, he goes, dude, that's a nice copy, because he has one too. I think he has all 3 of these. Look at that. Look at the eyes. Isn't that crazy? Honestly, one of the best looking pieces to come out of Death Studios right there. Just stare at that. It looks real. So much, detail in painting this at the time. It's got nice eyebrows applied. And this one's not foam filled. I'm trying to be very careful with his hair. Like I said, this old glue, this stuff can pull right out, man, if you're not careful. This guy's gonna get foam filled. Anyway, let's put the old camera back here and see. Let's see. Is there any other good Death Studios pieces? I can't tell if this is crooked or not. It's driving me insane. I'm one of those people that every pop in the fridge, every beer has to be perfectly aligned, like a psycho. I try to keep I'm taking the camera up and down, so if it's ever crooked, I'm sorry, but you guys comment and go, oh, your camera's crooked. He who says Frankenstein and not the Frankenstein monster every time. Can you imagine? Do you know how many times we were saying those words, Carlos and I? How many times do we say Frankenstein in the video? 68 times, probably? Do you really want me to go, oh, the Frankenstein monster, the Frankenstein monster, the Frankenstein monster, the Frankenstein monster, the Frankenstein... Fuck, shut the... Everybody I know in this hobby, unless they're on social media in the public, will just call it Frankenstein. Everyone as a child did that. Everyone had a Frankenstein toy or a model. And it's like, yeah, we all know it's the Frankenstein monster. We're not stupid. Okay, we've seen the movies. They're really old. And it's like, nobody, if you're coming here to say stuff like that, what I forgot about Frankenstein monster masks, you'll never even learn. All right? There. All right, let's bring I Madman over here. What a great, great mask by Jeff. He put something in the hair to make it real stiff and stringy, you know, so it's not like this. Did a really good job of it. So I think for now, we're gonna jump to a good old company, a mask company, from the mind of Mr. Joe Reeder, called House of Horror Studio. House of Horror, late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s. He pumped out some really underrated stuff. Okay, Joe Reeder. Underrated, not to a lot of people put his stuff on a pedestal. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying all of it. Like, a lot of people, though, don't really focus on Joe Reeder stuff, you know. They know the big ones. They know Distortions and Don Post, you know, Death Studios. But House of Horror, pay attention because you're going to see some shit. Oh, yeah. We're going to go back to 1984, I think. And I'm going to show you a really cool prop that Joe made called Old Bob. Old Bob, Old Bob. Old Bob was covered in mold, and I cleaned the hell out of this guy. Here he is. Oh, there's something I have to go upstairs and grab because Frank had this thing displayed with something really cool. And I'll remember there was a video of Frank and I in the basement of the other house, and this was all dusty. I go, what is that? You know, and he goes, that's a prop by Joe Reeder. It's a little zombie, and it's like a prop. I'm like, that is cool, man. It's so different looking than, you know, a lot of the other pieces I've seen. I love his eyes on it, how they're just sunken way back in there. That is really, really cool. And this one's in beautiful condition. I've never seen another one, honestly. I've never seen another Old Bob. And paint's nice. It cleaned up very well. He's always been on this little wooden base from Frank. He is foam filled up to about here. So he's filled. But I want to get the little thing Frank displayed with this because he would like to. He would have loved it. He would have made me display it with this thing. And his brother asked the other day, he goes, hey, where's that at? I go, I gotta get him. So hang on. Can you guess what it was? Look at that. This old set of glasses. They were on it when I first saw it in his basement. And you're going to see all this footage when I do the final big, it's not going to be the final, you know, Franken Shrine video of all time, but when I get to the little documentary I want to do on him and show you all the footage I ever took of that place, you'll see this guy. I didn't even clean the glasses. I left him dusty because he is dead. He is a zombie. But yeah, he had those little old school glasses on this piece, so I had to put him back on for the video. I have to move these guys because I have to tell you something. I brought home something that is spectacular. And we are definitely still on the subject of House of Horror Studio. But the piece I'm about to show you is the only one to exist. And it's incredible. Incredible. And it's not only a mask, it's more. It's more than just a mask. I invited a very, very, very special guest to come here in the near future. And I hope there's time in this person's schedule because it would be amazing. And more on that later. But Joe Reeder made a really cool werewolf mask around 1984. And they only came in gray.
He only made them gray, okay? However, Frank being the collector of all collectors way back when, always got special stuff, always got master copies, prototypes, special gifts. He was friends with Joe Reeder, very close with Joe Reeder. And he tells Joe, basically, I love the gray werewolf, I want one. However, I want mine brown. And custom chest piece to go with it. So not only the head, but also a chest. And Joe made these weird werewolf arms too. That I still left them there. I gotta bring them back because I am gonna display them with what you're about to see. And I have to tell you, this is one of the coolest things that was down in the Franken Shrine main collection room. Frank had it displayed kind of weird and funny in a way because it was on a mannequin with a big overcoat and hands and feet. And this werewolf it's amazing. And like I said, it's the only brown one made. Let's go back to the time when horror was amazing and life was amazing. VHS was king and werewolves were awesome. Look at that. Good God, dude. This is amazing. Look at that. Have you seen anything like that? That is a full chest piece. I'm being careful so that head doesn't fall. I don't want to sit on top there because it's going to be way too tall for the camera. Look at this thing. I'm going to somehow have to pull the head off, and I'll set it on here carefully. It took a long time to clean this because the actual face, the skin part, is flocked in a way, like it feels like velvet.
What is that, velvet?
Is that velvet? And I had to clean all the mold. The mouth was moldy, the eyes were moldy, the nose, and there was a light mold on that velvet. And it took me 3 hours, just little brushes. And I mean, this thing is amazing. Even Mas Kahuna told me a long time ago, he goes, Frank has a House of Horrors werewolf there, and it's the only brown one. He goes, there are no others. So that is, how cool is that? So he's on a half mannequin right now. His head's not on perfect because I'm going to foam fill it, make a peg so it fits on one of these things better. But I kind of brush this. You can mess this up and make him look like a crazy wild werewolf. I do that a lot with masks that have a lot of hair. See that? You'll totally change the look of your mask or whatever it is. If you just grab the hair, especially Be Something Studio masks with all that hair. When I take photos of them, I do this. I make the hair all sticking out. See that? Now he's looking like a crazy werewolf. But I took a brush and I lightly brushed it flat, to display it. This is all part of the mask around here. This thing's insane. Insane. He's got long whiskers that were punched in. And this to me is so mid 80s, It's just crazy. Look at that sucker. That is badass. His brother and we talked about him like, I want to bring him home this time. And he was a main character in the room, and it was sad. We were kind of sad taking it apart. And I told his brother, I go, it'll be displayed right. I'm going to display it as well as I can and do it some serious justice because, it is the only brown one. Let's get a stand to put this sucker on because you guys got to see it up close. I can't just show it to you from a distance. And the size of this thing. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? get him on here good. Let's put him right there. I bet the teeth possibly could have yellowed. I'd have to look at the catalog photo and see if they were whiter in the 80s when Joe painted the paint master for the catalog photo. I like them yellow. Like, I like the yellowed teeth, but I'm guessing they could have been whiter when this was brand new, you know? I mean, that thing is so cool. This was on a mannequin, a hard mannequin head, and this rubber is soft, but aged, like all the stuff ages. It's not hardened. It was on a hard plastic mannequin. A real funny one at that. Look at the face we found when we peeled this sucker off that mannequin head. We found this guy. Yeah, that's Francois. I named him Francois. Anyway, it was tough getting that old rubber off of that mannequin. It was scary. I'm like, I don't want to freaking rip this damn mask. Thank God it came off beautifully. And he deserves a nice foam filling, so he lives on, you know. Like I said, Frank amazed me in many, many ways. Digging through that collection, if it wasn't the masks, it was the trading cards. If it wasn't the trading cards, it was the insane collection of magazines. If it wasn't the magazines, it was the unbelievable collection of vintage movie posters. I've showed you a lot of those. You know, a lot of those came from Frank. If it wasn't that, it was models. It was crazy. When you guys finally get to see, you know, the video I shot, to this day I tell his brother, like, I can't believe one man collected all this. One guy. Frank was a very quiet person, like a loner. He had a couple friends. But this one guy did this, and it still blows my mind. I'm going to show you two more really cool, really old, and really rare masks by two. One's from a very well-known special effects master, especially from the 80s, and another is from one of the best sculptor, monster, and alien creators we know. Of course, Mr. George Shell, a mask that he made at the age of 15. But before we do that, I told you there's stuff upstairs I want to show you. Getting back to Frank's collection, Frank was a librarian and a teacher. He taught children and he taught high school classes, and he was a librarian. So he was... The more I dug through his collection and I found lobby cards, hundreds of lobby cards, sets. It hit me. I go, he was somewhat of an archivist. He was archiving everything possible. He was cataloging things in a way where he was so obsessed with horror films, special effects, Halloween masks, and mask making, and models, and garage kits, and comic books, and magazines, and toys, and he literally tried to buy every single thing he could so he could preserve it in this massive archive known as the Franken Shrine. And I am not exaggerating one bit, okay? Do you know how many sets of vintage trading cards there were? I got tons of them upstairs. I'd open a drawer in a room. It would be all the wrappers from trading card sets that were together that he opened. He'd save every wrapper from every package, all pristine, so they would be saved. Like, it was... I've never seen anything like it in my life, okay? Back to the George Shell mask. This is going way, 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 way back, okay? We didn't talk about this yet, no. What was the other Jordu mask I showed you? Okay. You've seen some of the Jordu pieces that I brought home from Frank's already.
in previous episodes. This one is real gnarly. And Jordu, the way he describes it, he's not thrilled with it. I'm like, dude, you made it when you were basically a kid, a teenager. Everyone starts somewhere in their craft, you know, if they continue something. And they all started somewhere. They all weren't just amazing sculptors when they started. Maybe Michelangelo was. But this mask right here, a young Jordu Shell created this thing. And Frank kept it all these years. He probably sent it to Frank as a gift or who knows what. Here it is. Look at this. That is wild. Look at the long face on this guy. I wonder if he told me a name on this. I think he told me what he called it. Let me just look real quick. Okay, show him. He goes, that's a terrible old mask of mine that I had forgotten completely until this moment. I think I had called it Boogeyman. He forgot he even made the damn thing. We're talking when he was 15 years old. So he thinks he called it the Boogeyman. Completely forgot he even made this thing. But look at that. That is from the old days of this stuff. You know, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. I was probably 12. I was probably 11 or 12 when he did this. I can't remember how old Jordu is. I don't know. But anyway, isn't that cool? Now, the next mask, my friends. I thought Jordu made the next one. So what I'm about to show you was created by the great Rick Stratton. And through his company at the time, Fantasy Faces Unlimited, back in 1979, he made a mask titled Orc. It was an orc mask. And here it is. Look at that. Is that badass or what? I kept thinking it could have been a young Jordu mask at the time. And I thought Frank was telling me it was. You know, we looked at so many masks together that I don't remember if I was coming or going sometimes. My head was spinning when I would leave that house. And so the story goes, Maskahuna bought this from Fantasy Faces, right from Rick, November 1979. He said the Franken Shrine took possession in February of 1985. So Frank bought this from Maskahuna, who bought it in 79, in 1985, and it sat there until 2024 when I brought it home to the Crimson Ghost Mask Room. That is just crazy. You think you keep masks for a long time? And a lot of those masks in that old bedroom I showed you, those were all sitting there since the 80s, you know. But that is cool. Old Rick Stratton piece. I had no idea. I cleaned it. It was full of mold. Luckily, he still has nice glossy teeth. Aged beautifully. And there's old photos of this I'm going to show you in Maskahuna's old collection in the late 70s, very early 80s. Look at this. You can see it sitting on the shelf there with some other killer masks. You know, that you could see a David Ayers mask next to it that I have here in the room. Actually, there looks like a couple. Man, there's a mask. Oh my God. Now that I study this photo, there's my rare bloody werewolf with hands that's sitting in this room. There's a fly mask we're going to talk about. That Metaluna mutant with the silver veins is the one that was repainted as sitting in this room right now. That's why I love these old pictures, because a lot of the masks in this room can be found in old photos like that. That is one of the coolest things in this hobby. You know, finding old photos like that and knowing those pieces are sitting right in your hands, you know. So let me put this on a stand, and I am going to take you, we're going to go upstairs and finalize this video, and I'm going to show you why I threw my back out. Exactly what it was that I was pulling out of my car. Look at that. Aren't those crazy? Unbelievable. Like I was saying, I didn't only just bring masks home this last trip. I brought home some books. Some books that I've had my eye on for probably 10 years. And I finally had the room to take them home, and they are really cool. They're not super old, but they are amazing. So let's go upstairs, and I'm going to show you. Like I was saying, Frank was an archivist. He was wanting to literally try to catalog all things horror, all things masks, all things horror literature, artwork. He was trying to accumulate it all. And let's go upstairs and I'm going to show you something really cool. Alright, forgive me if the lighting is weird because we're in this kitchen and the overhead lighting is a little yellow, but look at this. This is the Dark Horse Archives of Creepy Magazine, Eerie Magazine, Vampirella, and Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, The Haunt of Fear. This is crazy because they're brand new. Frank never read them. He probably paged through these, but you can tell they're absolutely brand new books that, you know, sadly, he bought them and they were in stacks in a room just for years and years on a floor. These came out, I believe, in the 2000s. What I can tell you is I guarantee you Frank read the real magazines and comic versions, comic magazines, whatever you want to call them, back in the 70s when they were on the newsstand. You know, that I can tell you. But this is nuts. I've wanted to bring these home the past 3 trips out there, and I'd bring home so many masks I couldn't fit these in my car or my vehicles at the time. But these, I'm gonna take some down and show you in case you've never seen these. There's maybe a few numbers missing in each series, but for the most part, a lot of them are here. So, I mean, this is basically, look at, all of these are wrapped in plastic still, unopened. The Vampirellas, I don't know if they came in plastic, but they're brand new. Most of these are still in plastic. Some tore over the years. The plastic, you know, just was coming apart, but you can tell they're brand new books. Tales from the Crypt, 1 through 5, Vault of Horror, various, you know, issues there. They're hardcover books. They're not magazines. These are the magazines inside these hardcovers. You know, this is the archived magazines and these amazing books, which I'll show you some that are open. Tales from the Crypt, Haunt of Fear, a great Richard Corbin, you know, creepy book. The artwork of Richard Corbin in that book. But you know, let's take the Vampirella #1 down. So this isn't Dark Horse. This is Dynamite. Okay. I made a mistake there. All of these are Dark Horse release. But what you got here, look at, these are new. New books. Beautiful books. Look at all of the old comics are in these pages. And it is just crazy. And I told his brother, I said, it's a shame. Look at that full color, man. Black and white, full color, all here. We both felt the same feeling, his brother and I. We're like, it's sad that they just sat there, you know, unopened. But we both knew he read the originals, no doubt. He had many of them. I have a lot of them here. But isn't this nuts? So look at the covers. Like these are Creepy and Eerie magazines, all archived. I've said it 10 times now, but Creepy Archives. Just something I was really excited to show you guys because I've never seen anybody with the whole sets out there. Like, just look how cool this is. You know, and it's like, it's like, I get it. I get why Frank didn't open them. They're special and they're perfect. And knowing Frank, he was like, I'm gonna buy these and I'm just gonna put them over there, you know, because I already read them all as a kid or a teenager. This is just fascinating though, you know? Yeah, it'd probably be easier to read the magazines, but these are so damn nice. I had to feature these here on the channel. Because I don't know anybody that has these. Ow! I'm sure people that do, they're books, you know, but my uncle had them way back in the day, and I just didn't have the money for them, and he sold them, and he even had the real comics, the real ones, but anyway. Uh-oh. Hey. No. Brought home some great Stephen King books, you know, other fun stuff, including this gem for my VHS wall whenever I get back to it. Look at that! Texas Chainsaw Part 2. The plastic advertisement for the VHS for Texas Chainsaw Part 2. 1988? 88? Yeah, has to be. The buzz is back. Isn't that neat? This is dusty, dirty. It needs a good cleaning. And, hold on. Wait, I got another cool one. That's not all. I got another one. This was straight up attached to a wood paneling wall in the collection. Look at that. From Beyond. H.P. Lovecraft's From Beyond. That's the three-dimensional or 2D, whatever you want to call it, you know, plastic advertisement from the video store. It took forever to peel that sucker down. But isn't that cool? So fun goodies from the Franken Shrine. So guys, thank you for watching this episode. I told you we would be back in mask video mode. Unfortunately, the injury I had and still have was a big setback, but getting better, and I'm really excited to do mask videos for you. You car guys, I'm selling that red Firebird tomorrow, the 71 Formula Firebird, not my black Trans Am. So there was some videos on the channel about that red one. I need it out of here, so a local guy's buying it. Couldn't have worked out better, and now I got garage space for a new vehicle that's on the way. But thank you for watching this. I hope you guys are happy that I'm back in action. You know, I was down for a few weeks because of real serious stuff going on. And thanks for watching. So I will see you soon with more content.